Are you feeling beautiful, Rue?
Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another meal prep video. As you can see, I have my meal prep apron on and I'm ready to do some cooking with you guys and get you all prepped for the week ahead. And in my last meal prep video, I asked you guys in a poll what type of meal prep video you would like to see next, and you guys voted for weight loss. And I feel like it's the perfect time of year to focus on a weight loss meal prep because beach season is around the corner and you just want to look good when you're in your bathing suit, bikini, shorts, whatever it is that you wear. You want to feel good, you don't want to be bloated, and this by no means is like promoting a diet or restricted amount of calories. I'm all about intuitive eating and eating until you're full, but making sure those foods are good, wholesome foods full of nutrients, fiber, healthy fats, and all that goodness. So I have a few awesome recipes to share with you guys for the week ahead that I think are going to help you with your beach body goals this summer. So without further ado, let's get cooking. To kick off the meal prepping, we're gonna start off with breakfast. And for breakfast, I thought I would keep it nice and light and summery, and we're basically making the easiest granola recipe ever. It's my simple granola mix. So first you wanna preheat your oven to 350 Fahrenheit. Then in a large bowl, you're gonna mix together your oats, almonds, sunflower seeds, coconut, sea salt, and cinnamon. You're gonna give that a quick stir and then set it aside. In a medium saucepan, you're gonna just warm up your almond butter, coconut oil, and honey, give that a stir, and you just wanna kind of keep that on a low simmer while constantly stirring it for about 30 to 60 seconds until it kind of thickens up a little bit. So set that aside. And you're gonna mix that into your dry oat mixture. I like to do half at a time while thoroughly mixing it through with a spoon or spatula. Next, all you have to do is grab a cookie sheet, line it with some parchment paper, and then pour that oat mixture right on top, flatten it with the back of a spatula, and bake it in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes, tossing it halfway through. Once your oatmeal is done, all you have to do is let it cool slightly, toss it back into a bowl, mix in your hemp hearts and raisins. I love Thompson raisins. I find they're smaller and they're just tastier in my opinion. And you just mix it all through and there you have a super easy, simple granola. I make this all the time and it's on my website. I'll have the recipe link down below. And then to finish off this breakfast, you can just add in some yogurt into a jar. You can use coconut yogurt, goat yogurt, Greek yogurt, doesn't matter. And then I just like to throw in a couple of mixed berries. And I have these little plastic containers, which are great because they actually, if you're using a mason jar, they separate the dry from the wet. So I pop those on top, I add in the cooled granola, pop the lid on, and you have breakfast ready for the entire week, and you don't have to worry about your granola getting soggy. Next up for lunch, I am making one of my favorite soup recipes. It is my chicken noodle soup. Actually, it's gonna be chicken and rice soup because I'm using brown basmati rice, but you can switch it up with any noodle or grain that you like. Now you can totally skip this step and just buy store-bought broth, but I love making homemade broth. I feel like it's so flavorful, it's so good for you. There's collagen in it, so many minerals and vitamins. It definitely makes a big difference if you're making it at home. So to make my own broth, I just take my crock pot, I throw in a whole chicken, and then I'll add in a mixture of vegetables like carrots, celery, ginger, garlic, onion, parsley. I throw that all in and then I season it with whatever spices I have on hand. And I have a whole recipe video. I will link it down below on how to make it. But you can really just switch it up with whatever you have. For instance, I didn't have parsley, so I used cilantro. Don't go out and buy extra things just to get the recipe exact. Just use what you have. That way you don't have things that go to waste in your fridge. And then just top it off with water so it just reaches the top of the chicken, pop the lid on, and you can either cook this on high for 4 hours or low for 8 hours. And then once it's done, you're gonna have the most rich nutrient broth ever. I basically will just strain out all the broth. I will pull apart the chicken from the bone, which is using like a fork, and you have the most flavorful pulled chicken that you can just throw back into your soup later on. And I'm actually gonna save some of it for dinner as well. So it actually works for 2 recipes for this week's meal prep. Now to make the actual chicken noodle soup, since it is a two-step process, since I am making my own broth, you're going to take a large pot and you're just going to saute some onion, garlic, and vegetables with a little bit of the broth. Usually I do a little bit of olive oil, but we're trying to keep this a little bit more lower fat, so I'm just using the broth since it has already fats in it from the chicken. So you're just gonna saute your veggies in there a little bit to soften them up before we add in the rest of our broth. And I like to top it off with a little bit of filtered water so it's not just all broth, and you can save the rest of the broth for soup for the next week. You can freeze it, or if you just want like a hot treat in the midday, you can just warm it up and it's just delicious to have as a drink. You can actually order broth now at a lot of cafes, which is pretty cool. So once you add in your broth and water, you can add in your rice, your chicken, and fresh parsley or cilantro if you have that on hand as well. Give it a stir, bring it to a boil, and then bring it down to kind of a low simmer and cook it until the rice is nice and cooked. And then when it's done, you're gonna have the most flavorful, nutrient-dense chicken noodle soup or chicken and rice soup that you can just pair with some crackers. I love these flax crackers from Mary's, and you can just have them, even if you want to have them on the side with guacamole or hummus, you could totally do that. But I find since the soup has the chicken, veggies, and rice, it's pretty filling and it just tastes delicious. Perfect for a light lunch so you don't feel too full or bloated afterwards. And then for snack time, I kept things super fresh and light and a little crunchy with some chopped cucumber and some little grape tomatoes. And when they're in season, they're so sweet and they just taste like little bombs of candy.
You really are. My next step is gonna be a little bit of contour. Mocha here, to contour right here. Very important to contour your face for your face, not the way you see on every YouTube tutorial, because everybody has a different shape. I have a huge forehead, so I like to go in a little deeper down here, hide that, you know what I'm saying? Very important to go into the hairline too, because I hate to see that white line between your forehead and your hair. It should just blend in naturally. And up and down the nose. Contour always starts off looking absolutely crazy. Hide that double chin. Yes. I learned how to contour when I gained weight, believe it or not. That's when it comes in real handy. Them fat days and your cheeks looking like baby cheeks, you just got it. See that look? I like to do all the deeper situations before I go in and like highlight my face. So you see like this is a little messy right now, but I'll handle that. And you always want to do a triangle when you're doing a contour under there. Give you that whole long neck situation. It just disappears. Concealer. This I actually like to warm up on my hand first. Just like that. And then like one little swipe. Everybody knows concealer's made for hiding bags and dark circles and hangovers and bad decisions. All right here, the cure. My day-to-day, it really depends on my mood. Depends on the occasion. It depends on how lazy I'm feeling that day, how much in a rush I am, you know, who I'm going to see. It all determines.
Look, I can be a circ. Now, my whole house is great. I can do anything good. I like my school. I like anything. I like my dad. I like my cousins. I like my aunts. I like my Allisons. I like my mom. I like my sisters. I like my dad. I like my hair. I like my haircuts. I like my pajamas. I like my stuff. I like my rooms. I like my whole house. My whole house is great. I can do anything good. Yeah. I can do anything good.